In this lecture, we'll add some trees to our terrain. We're at the point in this section where we're pretty close to implementing all the correct mechanics and systems we need to be able to finish off our game. Let's spend a little bit of time in the next few lectures properly updating our environment to be a little bit more respectable, we should say. Let's start off first with adding some trees to our terrain game objects. Being this far zoomed out, being able to actually see the canvas can sometimes be a little bit distracting to me in my scene view. I'm going to actually come over here to my hierarchy, and I'm going to actually toggle off this little I button so I actually can't see it in my hierarchy. If you want to still be able to see it in your scene view but not be able to click it, then you can actually just toggle on this little hand button, and now you won't be able to accidentally click your canvas in your hierarchy. For now, I'll go ahead and keep that clickable, but just hide it directly and you still won't be able to click it because you can't see it. With one of our terrain game objects selected, I'll just go ahead and select terrain 1. You can actually come over here and you have the option on the third button over on your terrain component to be able to paint trees. But first, we're going to need some trees. Let's head over to the Unity Asset Store and do some free shopping. On the Unity Asset Store page, let's search for trees. And for now, I'm just going to actually change this price dropdown to free. You've got a lot of different options for a lot of really quite good trees. I'm actually going to use two different assets. Not necessarily because I think they aesthetically look good together, but sometimes you can run into some different pain points when downloading assets from the asset store, and I want to make sure we're covering the most commonly ran into issues. So feel free to use any trees that you would like in your project. I'd actually recommend even trying out a few just to make sure that you understand the process. But for the sake of explaining, I'm actually going to use this mobile tree package here, as well as this URP trees model package here. I'll make sure I leave the links in the resources tab down below, but I can't stress enough you don't have to use these exact same trees. I'm going to start with this URP tree models first because it kind of just tends to work out of the box and has everything working for us as intended. Then we'll swing on over here. This is still a great package, but we've got a few more manual settings that we'll need to tweak to get things working properly. So with my URP tree models package open, I've already got this added to my assets, so I'm just going to go ahead and click open in Unity. With my package manager open, I'll slide it on over here to the very top right. I've already got this downloaded because I've used it in other projects. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you should see something like a download button. Once you have that downloaded, I'll just go ahead and import it directly into my project. With everything selected, I'll go ahead and import all. To keep everything organized, let's head over to Assets, drag my new tree packs folder into Imported Assets, and make sure that's just properly put into my third-party assets folder. Let's go ahead and open that up and see what we got. We've got a few different folders, but what we primarily are looking for are these prefab trees that are already set up for us. We can use these tree prefabs and actually paint them directly on our terrain. The third button over in our terrain component, let's scroll down a bit and click the Edit Trees button. We should have an option to add a tree. Let's go ahead and drag in this first tree as our tree prefab game object. It's worth mentioning, you don't technically need to add a tree. You could add any game object you'd like. You could add rocks, bushes, or anything that's not even necessarily environment related. As long as you're actually dragging a game object into this tree prefab slot, you can then paint it on your terrain, albeit it might look a little bit funny if you're trying to be a little bit too creative with what your game object might be. So let's go ahead and drag this first tree in, and we'll go ahead and add that as a tree that we can paint on our terrain. So let's get to painting, shall we? Let's up our brush size a bit. I'm going to shrink my tree density way down. I find this to actually just be way too dense pretty much regardless. I'm going to actually just pretty much always keep this at the lowest density. Make my brush just a little bit bigger and get to painting. And voila, we have got some amazing, amazing looking trees. Here we go. But you can immediately see we've got some problems. Not only are our trees way too small, but depending on how far zoomed in with our camera, we're getting some different effects. The trees kind of look dead from really far away. They start to look a little bit better as we get close up, and our shadows are only really rendering when we're closer to the tree itself. You can actually click the prefab directly and then just change some options in your inspector. Let's just start by changing the scale. I'll lock the scale to be proportionate. Let's just change this to something like 6, see what that looks like. Press tab so it actually saves. I think our trees are a bit more presentable when it comes to the correct size. Cool, with those trees painted, let's actually just hit play to see what we're looking at. Blow up my game view a little bit, and what I'm actually going to try to show you here is you can actually see some of the trees are almost like flickering. It might be a little bit hard to see, but if you look at somewhere around here, maybe I can actually even hit pause, blow my game view back up. You can actually hit this button here to go frame by frame. Looking off into the distance here, you might be able to see just a little bit of flickering on your trees, depending on how far away our camera is from that specific tree. I haven't actually seen it yet. I just saw it up here just now. It's going to be a little bit tricky to see. I just saw it right here. Maybe looking off here. There we go. I just saw it again on this tree here. It's going to be a little bit tricky to see, but there's a little bit of unintended flickering from our trees. Well, that's actually happening because each individual tree on this terrain has what's referred to as an LOD group. Inside of our inspector, our parent game object that's assigned as a prefab has this level of detail group. You can actually see that depending on how far away our camera is, at different distances, it will display a different mesh. These 4 different meshes are child game objects of our parent prefab. Scrolling down here a bit, you can see that the closer we are, we have a higher triangle count mesh on our tree. If we're far away, it actually toggles to a lower triangle mesh to be a bit more performant on our computers. However, for the sake of our game and kind of flying high up above the trees, it can kind of be distracting. I'd actually like it to just always display the same mesh no matter what. If you were doing something like a walking RPG and you were a little bit closer to the trees, and when you wanted to get really close up to the trees, you wanted to see a higher triangle count or a higher resolution tree, that might be cool. But for our sake, I just want to always display this low triangle mesh. Using these sliders, we can actually start to eliminate different LOD groups entirely. So I'm going to drag them all over except our LOD3, which is our lowest triangle mesh that I always want to be displayed. Because we've also modified the scale of the size of our trees on our transform component, I'm going to go ahead and also hit this reset object size button. I've found it helps with different lighting and mesh different artifacts being displayed in both our scene and our game view. However, that actually snapped back our LOD groups a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and slide these all the way back down so it displays only our LOD group number 3. Nice, let's head back to our scene view to make sure that's set up correctly. Now when we play our game, with those LOD groups properly set up correctly, we should actually have that sort of flickering on our trees eliminated. However, they still look a little bit off to me. Well, that's because we're actually not rendering the shadows from our trees because our camera is too far away at our current settings. Don't worry, we'll cover lighting and shadows in the next couple lectures. For now, let's actually head back to the Unity Asset Store and import that second Unity asset that I was talking about before, which is going to intentionally give us a couple issues that we'd like to resolve. I've got my mobile tree package open on my Unity Asset Store. I'll go ahead and open that in Unity. Same thing as before, I've already got it installed. I'm just going to go ahead and import it to the project. With everything selected, I'll go ahead and hit import. Same thing as before, let's drag this new folder into our imported assets folder and make sure that it's properly put into our third-party assets. Now, this time when you open up this Laxer tree asset that we just downloaded, if you were to open up the mobile folder, I believe, you can actually see we're immediately running into some issues. If you open up the prefab, you can see some of the materials aren't properly being rendered correctly. Anytime you get this pink material being displayed, that either means that a material is not selected at all or that it doesn't exist, or that it's actually not working with your current rendering settings. Basically, different shaders or different materials aren't compatible with the URP settings that we currently have on our system. For example, if you actually go back in models, yeah, you can actually see this entire tree is actually not being displayed correctly as it has a material that's not compatible with our current URP system. And you can usually upgrade these materials to be compatible with URP. So let's go ahead and do that. You can actually come up here to your window at the very top of Unity, drop down rendering, and open up the render pipeline converter. There's a few different drop downs here, but in our case, we want to upgrade these materials from the built-in rendering settings to URP. Now we are getting some warnings here. It's usually a good idea to back up your project before messing around too much with render pipeline settings. Everything is always fixable. However, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky and nuanced if you're not too familiar with the different render pipeline settings. So I'd recommend one of 3 things. Option number 1, do nothing. It's okay. If it breaks, have no fear. You can actually just clone our repo from our public GitLab repo. Number 2, just copy paste your entire project folder. That way you have a nice backup of where your project is currently at. Number 3, which is probably the best option, use some sort of version control, like Plastic SCM that comes with Unity, or something like Git. If you're not familiar with those things, it's okay. Just use options 1 or 2. That being said, you're probably not actually going to break your project. We're going to keep this really simple. We're going to actually just ignore most of these other settings, and we're only going to click Material Upgrade. This will go through our entire project and all of its folders and upgrade the materials that aren't compatible with URP and try to convert them to URP. So with just Material Upgrade selected, let's go ahead and click Initialize Converters to see where that gets us. Our current scene is not saved. Let's go ahead and hit Save and Continue. And there you go. Just half a second later, we're now pending conversion. You can open this up to see everything that it's trying to convert. You've got some TMP examples that are going to try to convert to URP, not that big of a deal. But you will see these models that we actually just imported to our project, specifically the materials that imported with this project. So with everything selected, let's just hit back and click Convert Assets. So there you go. We've got 9 materials that properly converted over. Most of the ones that actually didn't properly get converted are things that actually aren't going to matter, or there's some sort of the Text Mesh Pro stuff that isn't actually going to really matter for the scope of this project. But you should see that some of these materials from this asset that we downloaded did properly upgrade. Nice. Let's go see what that looks like. Let's actually just close out this window entirely. And here you go. Some of these materials didn't properly upgrade. Well, have no fear if you actually just go up 1 in your folder, Laxer tree package, go into mobile, the ones that we were looking at before, kind of the bark of these trees. There you go. These materials actually properly did upgrade to URP, and we can now actually properly use these models. So there you go. If you're downloading trees or assets at any time that actually aren't compatible with URP, most of the time you can actually just use the render pipeline converter to properly upgrade the materials. So let's just go ahead and delete these 2 game objects from our hierarchy, and let's go add these trees to our paint options in our terrain. So terrain 1, paint trees, edit trees, add tree, and I'll just use this first tree here, and we'll go ahead and drag it in. Let's go ahead and click add to add that to our paint trees option. Scrolling down just a tad here, I think we should see a warning. There you go. This tree prefab doesn't have an LOD group. Let's try to add this tree to our terrain just to kind of see what this looks like. Well, you definitely can't see it, but I did just actually try to add the trees. Let's zoom way in just to kind of see what they look like. Cool, same issue as before. They're just a little bit too small. Let's click this prefab directly and just change our scale to something like 555 to see what that's looking like. With our scene view zoomed in a bit, you can see we're having a couple different issues. Not only is our bark not properly being rendered, but we're also having some culling sorts of weird billboarding issues on our trees. Without the LOD group assigned, we're going to run into some rendering issues with our trees on our terrain. So have no fear. Let's just go ahead and set up the LOD group by ourselves. Head into the prefab directly, and because we don't have different meshes even as an option to be displayed, you can actually just add an LOD group directly to the most parent game object. So let's add that LOD group. And same thing as before, we only ever want to display one mesh. So on any of these, but I'll just choose the top one, I'll go ahead and open up our LOD 0. And which mesh renderer do we want to display? This same one attached to this tree. So you could actually just drag it from here to here, or just this component directly, drag our mesh renderer into this field. And our tree disappears. Well, that's because we actually don't have anything set up for these cold LOD 1 or 2 options. But if you're actually to zoom all the way in to LOD 0, there we go, there's our tree. So let's just get rid of cold, LOD 2, and LOD 1. That way, no matter how far away we are or how close we are, our tree is always properly being displayed. And there we go, our trees are properly being displayed. In our scene view, if we zoom way out, we can actually see some of these trees getting a little bit weird. Don't worry, we've got some rendering settings that we're going to change shortly, but for now, I'd like to introduce you to this lecture's challenge. Add a few different trees to your terrain using the assets of your choice. You might need to upgrade the materials to URP depending on which asset you download, and you might need to add an LOD group if needed. Have a play with a few different trees, download a few different assets, just to kind of go through the process a couple times and find the sort of tree that fits the aesthetic of the game that you're looking for. Pause the video, give it an honest effort, and I'll see you back here in a few moments. I'm going to quickly give myself a few more options on my terrain. So with terrain number 1 selected, add tree, edit trees, add tree, and then I'm going to add this tree number 2 from our mobile package. I'll add that one. I'll just go ahead and add another one right away, even though we haven't set up the LOD group settings. Add tree, and we'll add this third one. With both of these trees selected, you can actually just modify their scale together. So I'm going to click the lock button, scale them up to something like 5. Click my first tree that has these LOD group component settings that I already have rigged up. right-click the component itself, copy the component, and then actually one at a time, right-click, paste the component as new. It'll paste this component with most of the LOD settings set up correctly. We just need to make sure that we're properly displaying the right mesh. So even though I think this actually is right. Okay, so this is actually trying to display this mesh. I'm going to make sure that this mesh renderer is properly dragged into this field here. Same thing on our bomb tree number 3. Not actually sure what bomb is. Is that a species of tree? I'm not sure. Someone will have to let me know. With bomb tree number 3 selected, let's right click, paste component as new. Same thing, just making sure my mesh renderer is properly being displayed on this specific LOD. There you go. With terrain number 1 selected, scroll back up and just paint some trees. So we've already got this one being displayed. We've got this one. Let's just add these as well. Now, before I do that, if you actually click terrain number 2, you don't actually have these trees also selected on this specific terrain. However, if you click a terrain that does have the tree and start painting that tree on other terrains, you will then see that tree as an option to be painted. So back to terrain number 1, just paint a few of these trees here. I kind of really like this big sort of pine tree one. There you go. We've got everything working as intended. Now, of course, this looks pretty terrible, all things considered. Let's change a few more settings before we actually get too precise with how I want my world to look exactly. Let's just give it a playthrough on our game, even though our trees are just way too big and are in our field of view, and just kind of make sure we're not getting too much flickering with our trees. If you look closely and you still do see some issues with your trees flickering, that can often just be what's referred to as Z-fighting. Some of your trees might be just placed a little bit too closely together, and they're kind of fighting for priority in which one is properly going to be displayed through your camera. Let's keep going with our environment and make sure our rendering settings are properly being set up correctly so everything just looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. When you're ready to move on, I'll see you in the next one.